Today we start working on an area that can change the whole face, the cheek. You will see how I turn the knowledge from the introduction episode into practice, step by step, from diagnosis to planning and treatment. It will be very clear, practical, and something you can use in your clinic right away. Let's begin. This photo is a great example of what I just explained. The changes we see on the surface are actually the result of processes happening deep in the tissues. Look at the under eye area. The lid cheek groove, which runs from the inner corner of the eye downward, does not appear simply because the skin drops. It happens because the deep support, deep fat, and the structures attached to the zygomatic bone lose volume. Recent anatomical research, including studies by Kotofana and imaging analyses published after 2015, shows that this area has one of the largest volume losses in the whole midface. Deep fat compartments, such as the deep medial cheek fat, become smaller, and the ligaments holding the cheek lose tension. Before we continue, please take a look at the additional materials. You will find the full diagnostic card of the patient I will be working with in today's episode. Now we move to analyzing the patient's face. Her proportions are very harmonious. The forehead and jaw have a similar width, the cheekbones are softly defined, and the jawline is smooth, without sharp angles. The face is slightly longer than it is wide, which suggests an oval type with a small tendency toward elongation. This type of face usually responds very well to contouring. The proportions are naturally balanced, so the goal of treatment is only to improve the relationship between the mid-face and the lower face. But even at her young age, we can see a slight loss of cheek projection and a gentle shadow under the eye. This is not aging. It is her natural anatomy, which can be more visible at this stage of life. She is a young mother. Pregnancy, breastfeeding, tiredness, and lack of sleep often reveal small asymmetries, change tissue circulation, and reduce skin tension. So for her, we are not working against aging. We focus on restoring natural balance and highlighting features that are naturally softer. When you look more closely at the cheek area, you can see that it is a bit flat and slightly hollow, with a tendency to sit lower. This means the cheek does not create full projection in the malar region, the place that should naturally lift the midface the most. In the close-up, you can clearly notice a gentle tear trough and a soft shadow under the eye. This type of anatomy is common in young women and responds very well to treatment. Even a small improvement in projection can make a big difference in the overall look of the face. In the visual effect, we can see a few typical features. The face looks a little tired and less fresh, not because there is a big loss of volume, but because the light does not reflect evenly from the cheek. Instead of a smooth light arc, we see areas of shadow. This makes a neutral expression look slightly sad or sleepy. The lower face appears heavier, and the nasolabial fold becomes more noticeable. This is a classic case where gentle cheek contouring in the malar and submalar area can bring a clear improvement. My goal is not to add volume, but to restore natural projection. By working in the deep planes, we rebuild the structure instead of creating a superficial bulge. At this point, I can clearly define what I want to achieve for the patient. The main goal is to restore natural cheek projection, correct the small volume deficit in the submalar area, support the tear trough, and improve the skin texture, which will look smoother thanks to gentle tissue lifting. The purpose is not to change her features, but to bring back balance and lightness to the face. Cheek contouring will influence not only this local area, but the whole balance of her face. By lifting the midface, the lower part will look lighter, the folds will be less visible, and the natural proportions typical for a younger face, the so-called triangle of youth. If you enjoy this content and would like to watch the full episode, register for free on VOD Vismed Online and get monthly access to the latest knowledge based on research and real clinical work with patients. You'll find the link in the description and in the pinned comment. Additionally, with the code START, you can access your first month for a symbolic 2 in your local currency.